iBASSO DX170. Why do I like this player a lot? Highly recommend it. Well, because price point. First of all, $449 hits for where somebody can start looking to get their first digital audio player, and I think it's a great choice. It's light, it's portable. All the ergonomics, the buttons are in the right place. The volume control wheel, the 3 buttons on the side that are configurable, the USB-C on top, the line outs on the bottom, 4.4 balanced and 3.5 single-ended. It's fast enough, it's quick enough, it doesn't lag, good for online applications, online streaming, and the very solid, great sounding DAP. So that's why I like this DX170 in a nutshell. And since I'm a nut, you get the full show. Hello everyone, Tone Deaf Monk. You know, I shot a video just the other day and I was doing my journey of DAX dongles and desktop stacks, but I haven't actually done a review on a DAP or a dongle or any of that stuff. And I think I'll start just sharing my sound impressions with that to help you maybe pick one to see if it's right for you, if it's the right sound signature. Now, on my journey, I kind of said, you know, I can pick up a difference between different dongles and DAPs and DAC chips. So, and I made some generalizations, and I'll start with that. So for me, generalization for ES DAC chips, I typically find them very resolving, very clean, neutral, and that's the way I typically hear ES DACs. And in that case, like the X-Duo, XD05, which I will do a review on too, with the different op-amp switching outs. And then, so that's ES. And then the other ones that I haven't had a chance to listen to are an R2R, which when that comes out for the X-Duo XD05 Pro, I will probably pick that one up. There is Roam DACs, which I haven't heard, and there's a couple on the mainstream market right now, but primarily you hear about ES, Cirrus Logic, and you hear about AK or AKM DAC chips. The Cirrus Logic chips, actually, so I said about the ES, very clean, neutral, resolving, and then the AK chips, especially the latest batches with the AK 4499, I find them very, very smooth. And that really came into play with when I have the 2 Geshelli J2 DACs, one with a 4493 and one with a 4499. And the latter is significantly smoother. Geshelli is known for having no sound signature of its own. I think when you buy one of their DACs, it really is, you're buying the sound signature of the chip, and I think that plays a big part of it too. So you can kind of, if you want a more resolving, cleaner, not cleaner, but more neutral sounding, less colored than ES, or you get into the AK. But I'm here to talk today about the DX170. Now this uses the Cirrus Logic chips. So where I find the ES super clean resolving, I find the AKs very smooth, very smooth presentation. And I find the Cirrus Logic DAC chips, in this case dual 43131, to be very smack dab in the middle. And that's why I'm going to do a little bit of a presentation on the DX170 and what I love about it. That's the kind of way I'm going to go about my DAP and dongle reviews. Is usability is a big one for me. I recently went through the plethora of Hibi, and as much as I love their apps and some of the sound quality, I just couldn't deal with the non-usability of it. It just didn't make sense. So let's talk about the iBASSO DX170. Now, these guys are known for making high quality products, and they certainly do. From even this old DX170 or DX90 that I might do a review on it. It's an old one. Sounds fantastic. And it was like $500 at the time. So now out comes many years later, right? And especially in Chi-Fi world, $449 for this latest version. Now I've had a DX160 and I sold that one because it had a couple quirks where if you try to fast charge it, the USB-C would smoke, and C, streaming apps were like Tidal were too laggy. Now, to be fair, I haven't tried streaming apps with this one because I don't really do that anymore. I did it with a little bit of Spotify and I had zero issues. So whatever issues the DX60 had, the DX170 does not have at all. For me. Let's talk just a little bit of specs, just for shits and giggles, right? So the dual Cirrus Logic 43131s, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Android 11, very good signal to noise ratio. 130 dB is exceptional. Some of the features, yes, it does Bluetooth. Yes, it does LDAC, APX output. So it does the Bluetooth codecs as well. Digital in, digital out, and coax digital out as well. So that also is a huge thing for me. It says native DSD 256, but it was playing my 512 files. So there you go. 11 hours playtime. Yes, the battery is fantastic. So usability. Let's go there. So I'll do another feature video of about a Shanling M6 Ultra and about why I like it for where the things are. So first of all, you'll see mine is in a blue leather case that I picked up on Amazon from Miter. Very soft, very snugly fitting case. Highly recommended. It's about $55. Great little case. Cutout on the side for the volume control wheel. Thank you very much. On the side. One of the things that drove me nuts about the Hibi R6 was on the top. And when you get your fat sausage fingers in there, it's really hard to control. It's not an easy place to put. It's a terrible place to put it. And then you put the thing in a case and you really can't get at it. It's the dumbest thing. If you don't like using something, you're not going to use it. I don't care how good it sounds. On mine is a matte screensaver, which I buy a Samsung S20 FE screensavers and I cut them down, and I love matte because there's zero fingerprints. So that's what I'd recommend, and you can buy 5 for $2 on AliExpress. On the top, there is the USB in-out and charge. So you can use this as a DAC or a transport. I didn't at first when I got it, and then I updated the firmware and it fixed it. So maybe if yours doesn't, if you plug this thing in and you plug it into a different DAC and it doesn't recognize it, update your firmware. On the bottom, 4.4 and 3.5 single-ended. And there's also the card slot which I forget somewhere. It's in my case. So on the other side with the volume control, there's 3 buttons. Forward, track backwards, and track play pause. Great layout. Again, absolute perfect layout. Great transportable. For if you're using this DAP as a portable device, highly recommended. It has all the things in the right places personally. So put this thing in your pocket, the cord's coming up from the bottom, and you can easily control it. There's also a little function in the software that allows you to reconfigure the buttons. That was brilliant. I thought that was brilliant. Battery life is fantastic as well. Power output, I don't know what it actually says. It does for power. I'm trying to scroll through the thing, and the Hibby. I had the latest mid-fi R6 Pro 2, and it ran out of juice. It ran out of headroom. It ran out of power, and I would totally not recommend that DAP unless you had it for a set or a really efficient IEMs. That's it. But I listened to tons of different gear, and it didn't do it for me. It just ran out of juice. So usability. All the buttons are in the right place. The volume control wheel on the side. So it checks off all that. Sound. Well, the Cirrus Logic 43131 is one of my favorite DAT chips. Again, it adds just a hint of warmth. It adds the fast slam of the ES DACs and just a hint of the warmth of the AK. So it kind of fits right in the middle. It's a very resolving, very clean sounding DAP. And it's definitely one of my favorites at its price point. That $449 is half the price of the Shanling M6 Ultra. Is the M6 Ultra worth it? Yes, it's probably worth double the money for that extra 10%, and if you want a smoother replay. But for the money, it's really hard to beat this little iBASSO DX170. What don't I like about it? Yeah, it's a good question. So even the coax output's easy peasy. The 3.5 out, you can configure whether you want headphone output, you want low output, or you want it to do coaxial. And it's pretty easy to do, again, on the menu system. When you configure the 3.5, it sets to whatever you have it set to. So whether it's a phone out, line out, or coax out, it stays there until you change it. I think that was a pretty good feature. I'm not going to go into the software at all. It really doesn't matter. It's an Android player that does the native bypass inside the unit itself. So whether you're using the iBASSO Mango, or in my case, I like the Hibby app on this player because I'm most familiar with it, and it transfers over my playlists, and I really like the layout and the Sage Magic 8-ball MSEB equalizer. That thing is golden. And PEQ. So this is a quick review of the iBASSO, why I think it's wonderful for the price. And it just checks off a lot of boxes. It's got a small form factor. It's fairly light. It's powerful, and it has a great battery, and all the buttons are in the right spot. Check, 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 check. So and the 449. So I think if you're looking at in the market for a digital audio player, and you want to jump into the foray without going into the and getting you a taste of iBASSO, you might go up into the high end DX320s and further in your journey. But to start off at this price point, I think it's a really hard one to beat, and I highly recommend it. It's the Tone Deaf Monk. I'm out for now. Oh, one last thing. Damn it, I almost forgot about that. The screen, right? So this one's $450. This one's $930. This thing kicks ass on the screen quality, the color tonality. It's just got a really beautiful screen. Even at dialed up, I get fantastic battery life. Like, yeah. So that's it for now. I hope I didn't forget anything. Thank you very much. I also mentioned the over-the-air updates. Super simple. Again, it's a well thought out, well laid out. It sounds like iBASSO has great tech support, by the way. Every time I've sent a request for information or an inquiry, they got back to me within a couple days. So that is great support. They seem to have a lot of good people in place for also their support, customer support. So, yeah, I mean, that's also a big part of it, right? You get something, you come up with an issue, how well and how fast do they address that? It's important, especially when you're putting up, $450 to that. For some people, that is a ton of money. And yes, their DAPs go up multi-kilobuck. So, but at $450, to some people, this will be a lot of money.